I know you think I'm crazy,
I have to mind those big rocks.
but I feel her. I hear her heartbeat. She's so close.
So what does her heartbeat sound like?
Mighty.
We cannot let you bring your war here.
Outcast. That's all they see.
I see you.
The way of water connects all things. Before your birth and after your death.
This is our home!
I need you with me. And I need you to be strong. Strongheart.
Welcome back, everyone. It's Charlie. This will be my new Avatar: The Way of Water trailer video. There's a whole bunch of Easter eggs here. We know a little bit more about what's actually going on with the characters in the movie. It's been 13 years post all the memes. If you're brand new to the channel, be sure to subscribe to get all the videos. I will do like a full breakdown and Easter eggs video for the movie when it does come out in December. And when we get a little bit closer, also do a movie ticket giveaway for it too. But the new trailer gives you a little bit more with the characters. We actually hear more for Sigourney Weaver's new character, who is one of the daughters of Jake and Neytiri. They have a really crazy explainer for how they brought Sigourney Weaver back. Like James Cameron brought her back because, of course, you bring Sigourney Weaver back. She's an amazing actress. But her character, Grace Augustine, died during the events of the first movie, and they uploaded her consciousness into that giant world brain. The Na'vi worship that, calling it the god Eywa. It's like a giant superorganism world brain they haven't completely explained yet. There's a sort of mystical and biological qualities to it that they'll explore throughout the sequels. They kind of implied that their daughter here, played by Sigourney Weaver, has this connection to it and can feel its heartbeat. It seems like during this later fight scene too, she's almost trying to use the power of that world brain to influence all the creatures around them. But the basic synopsis for the movie is just that Jake Sully and Neytiri have formed a family in the past 13, 14 years. It's been about 13 years since the first movie came out, but I believe in the movie they say it's been 14 years chronologically since the events of the first film. Recently, they've had to leave the jungle regions of Pandora and they're moving to this water tribe during the movie. There are currently 7 members of their family. They have 3 biological children and 2 adopted children. The oldest child is a male named Neteyam. The second child is another male named Loak. Their youngest biological child is this female Na'vi named Tukatre. Their first adopted child is Sigourney Weaver's character, the female Na'vi named Kiri. We don't know a ton of backstory about her character yet or which family she came from that they adopted her from in the circumstances of her parents' death. I think it's implied that it was just one of the conflicts with the other human forces on the planet. We know a little bit about their other adopted child named Miles. They call him Spider just because of what he does during the movie. The way they explain his character is that he was the son of a couple scientists that came as part of the settling crew to try and mine the unobtainium, and in a conflict his parents were killed, so Jake adopted him with Neytiri. And one of the other big changes from the events of the first film is that the Na'vi have started working with some of the humans, not all the humans, because one of the major villains in the film is still Quaritch's character. Quaritch is coming back, but you probably recognize he's also wearing the same avatar body as Jake. So the whole idea is that Quaritch is going to be one of the main overarching villains heading into the next couple of films, so it sounds like he will survive past the events of this film. But because his physical body was destroyed during the last film when he was fighting with Jake, who was also in his avatar body, it seems like what Quaritch has done is basically upload his consciousness into a copy of Jake's avatar body, like they had multiple copies of Jake's avatars. The way you can tell which version of Jake you're looking at is based on their hair and their tattoos. So the real Jake has the long hair, no tattoos. The Quaritch version of Jake has the short military hair and vibe about him, like military clothing, and he has the same tattoo on his arm that Quaritch had. So I think part of the idea is that they'll play with that during the events of the film. Like they'll make you think you're watching one version of Jake when you're really watching the Quaritch version of Jake, and he winds up doing a bunch of evil stuff. They have some voiceover dialogue from some of the other new characters inside this water tribe that they travel to. Vin Diesel and Kate Winslet were cast, and they're part of this water tribe. But the way James Cameron described all the Avatar sequels is that each film was sort of meant to be its own standalone thing, even though it's sort of continuing this overarching story of Jake and Neytiri's family. And throughout this trailer, it seems like we get a couple time jumps, like there's a bit of a montage because you see young versions of their family, you see older versions of the children. I think they just included that because it has been 13 years since that first movie came out. Like, okay, it's been a while. We understand a lot has happened and then, so we're going to tell you like a real quick explainer as to how this family came to be. It also seems like Sigourney Weaver's character, Kiri, will have a bigger arc in the movie too, so they'll need to explain some of her backstory. Most of the footage here is just his family exploring this aquatic region as part of this water tribe here. One of the funny things you could say about this trailer though is just trying to give you vibes for the movie because there's not a lot of dialogue. The first Avatar movie was fairly plotty, especially in the beginning. They had to give you a pretty quick tutorial about what the humans were doing in the future, why they needed this planet, what the unobtainium was for, and its connection to the Na'vi and the planet itself. They imply it's worth billions of dollars. The humans use it in all their technology, all their weapons, everything. But I think part of the idea of the first movie is that the mineral itself was critical to this superorganism on the planet, this world brain, Eywa. So the more the humans mine it, the more they hurt this world organism. Just because this is like the second of 5 planned movies, I'm not expecting them to completely explain everything that's going on with that Eywa creature. It's sort of like the Star Wars movies, still not completely explaining Yoda's character or the Force. There's still a couple big mysteries inside the Star Wars universe about how everything works exactly. Like, you know a little bit, but not everything. What seems like happens though is they get into this big battle with the humans, and that might just have something to do with Quaritch's character, because it seems like some of the other humans they're also working with. So like not all the people are supposed to be bad. This is the big reason for taking them to this aquatic coastal tribe was just to make the family feel like fish out of water. Like in the first movie, Jake was this big fish out of water because he was trying out the Avatar bodies for the first time. Now he's been living in one for the past 13 years. He has a bunch of biological Na'vi children, so he's fairly acclimated to the life in Pandora's jungles. And the way they switch that up is by taking them to a completely new type of environment. But the whole idea is I think that through the course of all the sequels, we'll just explore all the different parts of the planet. So like in the next movie, it won't be another aquatic location. It'll be some other location. They also reveal in the trailer that not all the Na'vi are blue skin, like there's a green skin looking one. It's the same vibe in real life. Like around the world, you have many different people, many different races with different skin tones. So you think of the Na'vi the same way you think of the human race. There are many different racial groups within the Na'vi. In talking about Vin Diesel memes, like Vin Diesel is a character in the movie, one of the taglines of the movie is, "This family is our fortress," so post all the Fast and Furious family memes. I don't know how many of the sequels Jake and Neytiri are both going to be in. Maybe they eventually wind up getting killed off in one of the later sequels. But the basic idea for the sequels is that it's kind of them doing the Skywalker saga, but with Jake and Neytiri's family. You slowly see them age up through the course of the sequels. I don't know if that means they're going to wind up killing off Jake or Neytiri's character in one of the sequels like Avatar 3 or Avatar 4 or Avatar 5 or something like that. But I think assuming they do make all those sequels, the kids will be the main characters by the time you get to Avatar 4 and Avatar 5. They had like a crazy writer's room a couple years ago you probably heard about where a bunch of writers basically plotted out every single one of the sequels. You can post all your theories about where you think the franchise is going to go after this. Like we have the water-based movie in this one. What is the next movie going to be about? Which area of the planet they're going to go to? It just feels like because this Eywa world brain creature is such a huge force in Pandora, throughout the sequels, they'll get closer and closer to finding out what's going on with it. Like they tease it being a god in the first movie, eventually they'll probably meet God. Because the trailer is so cryptic, I'm sure there's going to be a billion questions that everybody has going into this movie, but I think that James Cameron wants it that way. Like he wants you to be very confused and not sure what's going on when you sit down in the theater. I'll do more bonus videos when they release the next trailer. If you have any big questions, just write them in the comments below and I'll try to add them to my future bonus videos. Everyone click here for my Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania trailer with a whole bunch of Kang the Conqueror, and click here for my new House of the Dragon Season 2 video. Thank you so much for watching, everyone stay safe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.